Hi, I'm Cassidy Quistorp, Executive Director of Klamath Film, and with me today is creator of the film Something Different, Puppeteers for Fear's story, Ross Williams. Ross, thank you so much for being here today to chat with us and do this Q&A, and also for being part of the Klamath Independent Film Festival.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I mean, it's like my fourth or fifth time here, so I'm happy to be back.
Welcome back. Well, to start, how did you find this ragtag group of people, and where did this kind of story come from?
So originally, I think I was just seeing their poster up around town, like in Ashland, Talon area, and I'm just always been a fan of puppetry, going back to, Sesame Street and the Muppet Show and stuff like that. That's kind of what I grew up on. And so I've just always had this appreciation for that. And then to kind of see their poster and it be like, oh, this is not for kids, though. This is like weird. They're covering like Cthulhu and robot apocalypses and stuff like this. I don't remember what the first show I saw was, but I don't know. So I saw their poster up and I went and saw the show, and it was just like this incredibly insane show, puppets, like just doing all kinds of, R-rated things like, murder and sex and just, whatever, all together with like musical, like punk rock, like musical. So they're just like way out there, I think. And so I kind of like just started following them from there. I mean, I'm not like a super fan or anything, but like I was following them on Facebook and that kind of stuff. And then once I kind of got to know the director of it, Josh Gross, and we'd run into each other at things. And so once COVID hit, they kind of went out of mind because you stopped seeing their posters around. And but it was there. So I worked with this website called Tongle, and they were looking for documentaries about like interesting subjects. And like I'd always kind of had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to make a documentary about these puppeteers. So I pitched Tongle the idea of, here's this puppetry group. They're kind of, out of business right now because of COVID. They can't do live shows. And, so maybe, it'd be good to tell their story right now and, and try to help support them in any little way I could. And so I reached out to Josh and him and his girlfriend. They kind of are holding it together during COVID. And yeah, they couldn't do shows. They couldn't do anything. So like he was excited to just be able to talk about it and kind of relive it a little bit, seemed like. And so like, we sat down and did an interview, and they gave me all their whole archive of like their shows and all their photos that so like I knew there was going to be like a lot of material there to put it together. And so like a lot of it was just in the editing, I think, was like I tried to make it really fun. And
Definitely fun. I would totally describe this documentary as fun and something different. But so it's interesting because a lot of films are held back by COVID, or didn't start or didn't finish because of COVID. And this one seems almost inspired by COVID, like trying to help out a group of people and bring it back to life almost.
Yeah, I mean, I was just it was something, we could do really small. There was just like, I was behind the camera and running the camera and mic and lights and everything. So it was just like me and whoever I was interviewing. So we could, keep it really small and not worry so much about the COVID restrictions and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you pitched it, had you already talked to them, I'm assuming, before kind of pitching the idea, or did you pitch it and then kind of move forward and then you're like, "Oh, hey, can I make a documentary about your puppeteer group?" Do you remember?
I yeah,
It's been a
I
while.
don't yeah, it's been I mean that part was probably almost 2 years ago now, but I know I'm trying to remember who I pitched it to first. Like I might have think before I got the kind of the green light from Tongle, I I had reached out to Josh to see if he was interested. And so I think I did reach out to Josh
Yeah.
first, like, and it was at least like, there is a possibility, I might find some funding to help make this documentary. Would you be interested? And he was like, yeah, sure, great. And then I was
Nice.
like, even if it doesn't, even if this funding doesn't come through, I would still like to make it on my own. It would have just probably just slowed down production because I wasn't like getting paid to edit it. Like I still would have had a passion to do it, I think.
For sure. Right on. Well, do you have any advice for filmmakers who might be like intrigued by someone's story like this and like, just reaching out to different groups or anything like that kind of for I don't know, maybe what you did. What advice would you give to someone?
I mean, documentaries, I think, for like starting filmmakers is kind of a good place to start because, you really can, you're not so reliant on a team. You can really kind of do everything yourself easily. Like if you find the right subject, like, I mean, just if there's somebody interesting in your life, I mean, like I've seen, all kinds of short documentaries. Like people just make a documentary about their mom or, somebody they in their life that they think is cool. Like, just like interview them, follow them around for a day or two, like getting B-roll, just, I guess, look for something interesting that's around you that you want to tell a story about. And like, I mean, I've made a couple of documentaries that way. I had one a few years ago. I think it played at Klamath where it was just it was called Papa Joe, where it was a documentary about a guy, like one of my best friends growing up, and his dad is like this old farmer. He's like, like 85 now, and he was kind of just had all these old stories about, my hometown and
Wow,
he's kind of like one of the last like you know real farmers out there. I don't know, but
for
so
sure.
he I just knew he would make an interesting subject, so I just went and kind of did that. I talked to him and on camera, and yeah.
That's awesome. I love that because I think people are always looking for like this crazy amazing story, but really if you just find something that you think's interesting or some little spark or someone close to you, I mean, that's just really good advice and something that any
Yeah,
filmmaker could do at any stage that they're at. So I like it. Nice, Ross.
yeah.
Well, is there anything you're excited about upcoming in the future? Projects that you're working on? Want to talk about?
I mean, the main thing I'm working on right now is I'm working on a TV show for PBS called All Across Oregon. Um, there's this local chef in Medford here named Vinny. Owns Vinny's Kitchen. It's Italian food, and he's kind of self funding it, but like I've taken on like the entire production side. Like I'm shooting all the episodes and editing all the episodes. We usually have a second camera on shoots. Like a good friend of mine, Levi, helps shoot a lot of the times, and so it's kind of, I mean, it's in my vein, I guess, where it's just like run and gun documentary style filmmaking, but it's like kind of like a local travel show. Like, so it's
That's
you know
awesome.
we're
Yeah, that seems
in
really cool.
about halfway through season 2 right now. So yeah,
Right on. Well, neat.
yeah.
I am really looking forward to seeing that. My father-in-law is named Vinny, and he's
Oh,
Italian, so that's just
okay,
looking
cool.
forward to seeing it.
Yeah,
But great.
you can check it out on. It's on YouTube, so it's on,
Okay.
like if you look up All Across Oregon on
All
YouTube, it's
across
there.
Oregon on
Yeah,
YouTube. Great.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's super cool. Sounds like an awesome project to be working on. Do you have any final thoughts or anything else you'd like to say about Puppeteers for Fears before we end this Q&A?
Um, oh, I did see that they are starting up live shows again. So yeah, if you have a chance and you're into like adult puppet shows, into like weird sci-fi, jokey kind of things, they are starting up their shows again. I think I saw one coming to Ashland in like September or something. So
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, but anyway, one of our 4 screenings this year was in association with the KCC Comic Con, and it was Frank and Zed, which was this wonderful horror puppetry show screening of a film that someone made who was in the film festival last year. But anyway, so yeah, it seems like that's kind of a vibe. So we love the weird puppetry, horror, sci-fi shows around here.
cool.
But yeah, Ross, thank you so much for joining us today for this Q&A and for being part of the film festival. We're so excited to be
Yeah,
showing your
yeah.
film.
Thank you. Thanks for
Awesome.
having me. All right.